that I wanted to ask you was, Bryan, you've always said that you're not Murderface.
But I am.
Not. But oh, well, now you're saying something different.
No,
so
I'm just kidding.
Do you channel him when you play? I mean, what is there any relationship between you and Murderface?
Only that I'm kind of scared of him. No, really, actually, my job is to make him sound good, which is very difficult.
Yeah.
And no, so that's all there is. That's my job.
I think the truth is nobody wants to be really a Murderface, the self-hating. One of the most filled with more self-hatred. And a chip on his shoulder, and needing attention so badly that he'll do anything to shoot himself in the foot every single day. I can tell you that Bryan Beller is not that person. He is a very friendly, funny, giving person who really cares about his instrument. A great deal.
Well, I think one of the questions that people want to know is there going to be a third CD?
A third CD?
Yes.
Well, I can tell you, I can't, we're in negotiations for all the future of that stuff right now. Negotiations are going well, and that's all I can say. So we're working on that. In the meantime, I have a project that I've been working on for the last 9 months. In between, like I got to do some really fun stuff this fall. I got to direct a couple music videos. I got to do a video for Soundgarden, which was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. And I got to direct a video for Scotty Ian's new band, The Damn Things. That was really, really fun too, just a ridiculous video. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to put out a solo record that allowed me to do some of the stuff that I can't do with Metalocalypse. I wanted to have a melodic record with melodic vocals that are still, it's still a rock album. It's not like, it hasn't turned into Elliott Smith or anything like that. It's aggressive. It's got Gene Hoglan and it's got Bryan Beller on it too.
When is that coming out?
That's coming out later on this spring, but it is a big, ridiculous concept album, and I'm trying to coin the phrase intergalactic high-stakes metal. So wait and see that. There's a lot of it's like Andrew Lloyd Webber meets Queen meets Metallica meets weird like elements of Smashing Pumpkins and stuff like that. So it sounds like it's coming from the same place as the same person is definitely doing this thing, but it's definitely a different color of that. So it's turning out really good. I've got some songs being mixed right now, and I'm happy with it.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's really fun. And Beller came in and just
this is the first time that Brendon and I have ever gotten a chance to make a whole record together.
Yeah.
Because the first record he did all himself with Gene, and the second record I played on one song on the Gears.
Yeah.
But this time we really got to sit down in a controlled environment and get a sound and just do the whole record together, and it was a blast.
It was amazing. It was so much fun. I put down a lot of again, just what I thought the bass would be, and I like doing kind of traditional figured basses, which is, I mean, it's like putting the third in the bass. Often you hear that all over Dethklok, and I just love the sound of that. I love hearing it comes from traditional harmony, it comes from classical music and stuff like that. But it really drives rock really hard. And I just when I heard Brian May and Queen do that stuff years ago, I wanted to throw that into stuff. And this has a lot of that stuff. And yeah, you got a question?
Well, I was just wondering, Bryan, do you contribute at all creatively to the bass lines, or are you just basically doing what he tells you?
When we're doing in his solo project, yeah. In other words, like we would come up with them together. We would kind of like produce the lines together, and then when something didn't work, we'd be like, all right, well that sucked. And then when something worked, we'd be like, all right, that's cool. And that's the way that it would go.
It's
it was
true,
the same thing with the one Dethklok song that we did do. We kind of do it together.
Absolutely. I think, it's like with this show also. I think one person's point of view is possibly the most boring thing in the world. And when you can have other people that you trust who are just motherfuckers on their instruments come in and beat your ideas, like beat them down and with a way better idea, that's all you want, All you want is someone to beat all your ideas and add to the creative thing, because again, that's why you hang out. That's why, like, with the directors that I work with the editors, with everybody else, that's the thing, is like, here's an idea. If you can make this way better, I'll give you a hamburger or something. Something to the value of a hamburger. Not a cheeseburger, though. That's out of the question.
How intensive is the process of converting from the studio version to the live version of the bass lines?
What's interesting is that when we, the first tour, everything kind of came together simply, I think because the tunes were more straight ahead. But for the second record, when we got together for rehearsal, and we had already toured as a band the first time, there were some intense things that we had to go through, like, like doing Burn the Earth and sections of that, because it's a relentless finger pattern, it never stops.
It's like tendonitis in a can.
And he's got to do this ridiculous kind of, counterpoint singing over his melody, and there was stuff that we had to run. We would run a section of Bloodlines just like Steve Vai style, one section for 10 minutes just to make sure that we had it right. So it was harder. But
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the other thing is because I came from, you know, I considered myself an indoor guitarist up until the point that Metalocalypse really started, because I would just play for my own fun. Like, I didn't know that I was going to end up having any kind of a life as a working guitarist or any of that stuff until I created my own job or I hired myself. But the truth is that I didn't know how to do any of the live stuff. Watching me in the first few rehearsals, remember? I mean, it's the best. It was pretty funny. I was basically Toki Wartooth, stepping on the run pedal, dropping my guitar. I dropped my guitar on stage like several times.
The pedalboard stuff was hilarious.
Yeah, I'd step on the wrong thing. I'm like, okay, ready? Here comes I'm ready for this solo. I'm gonna shred, clink, plinkety plink. It's like the clean sound on the amp. Oh, this is embarrassing. There are a lot of moments like that, and lots of fantastic character building, humiliating experiences.
To your credit, it was only like, it was crazy. It was like 5 or 6 shows, and like you went from like that person to like, okay, I get this, and, you know, laying up on the monitor and the whole thing. Yeah. It was really fast.
People, yeah.
Yeah.
But the funny thing that Brian's got you and I have a similar personality in a way in that you like to take charge and organize. And no, in a way that's actually no, it's not even like some people can be real asswipes. Beller's actually he's like a good leader. So in a band, you led a lot of the stuff too because you had more experience. You go, okay, wait, hold on, stop. Let's check this one area right out. I'm doing this. What are you doing? We do all that kind of stuff. We go, okay, right. I was doing the other thing. Let's just go over that and some of those things. You would hear the mistakes while I'm sitting there trying to get through these garbled lyrics that are again like maybe counterpoint melodies with like didn't do it, and I'm trying to do 4/3.
Why I don't have to do that stuff
and all that stuff. You know, it's ridiculous.
Well, what can we look forward to in the world of Dethklok, Metalocalypse?
Well, again, negotiations are happening. We're going to have an announcement pretty soon, but I think everyone will be happy with it. We have more comic books from the world of Dethklok and Metalocalypse from Dark Horse Comics. Some of that stuff's coming out. It's they keep getting better and better. The ones that I keep on seeing, they just keep getting funnier and better, and it's really cool. And it's really fun to have that. Another really cool announcement is happening very shortly, which is at the Gibson booth. The Dethklok guitar, the Dethklok Thunderhorse is what it's being called, is coming out, and it's really, I'm really happy. I can't believe I'm ready to quit show business because I think I've gotten to do everything I want to do. I got to design a guitar with Gibson. I've gotten to tour with guys like him and make records, and yeah. So that's, if you guys want to check out what that is, it's so cool. I can't believe that I got to make this guitar a reality, you know. And these books, I keep getting the numbers back from these books. People are buying the living daylights out of these things. Yeah. It's really awesome to see.
Guitar Center ordered a lot of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have them at Guitar Center.
I really think we're bigger than Led Zeppelin at this point. I really, really do. I believe that. I really think that I'm really, and I think I'm tall too. I think I'm 6'4". Anyway, yeah. So
I'm not an experienced straight man.
That's right. Just keep looking at me like I'm crazy to work. But Brian, again, this record's coming out soon. Brian will be on it. Gene Hoglan just tears it up, and it's almost, the more I keep working, the more it's feeling like not a metal album, but a rock record. Again, which is cool. I'm really happy to. I love rock and roll.
Well, Brendon, what you haven't done yet is produced an educational DVD for anyone, any sort of a method that teach the world how you do it.
Was that something that you'd be interested in?
That is absolutely something that Alfred is interested in.
What kind of money are we talking here?
We're a million bazillion banana stickers.
Gotcha.
I would absolutely love to find the time to do that, and leave in all the mistakes, and drop my guitar and hit the wrong pedal. I think there needs to be a funny instructional video out there.
You know what? I am actually doing one. This is not a bad time to announce that I am doing an instructional video for Alfred, thanks to Kate, who made it happen. So that'll be happening. I'm going to be shooting it in March. It's going to come out, I don't know when.
So how does that make you feel because he's ahead of you?
I'm doing one, Brendon.
It makes me proud of him and proud of you. How do you like that? Rose above it.
You're way too kind.
Magnanimous and wonderful, yeah.
That's our Brendon.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have you do some signings, sign some books, sign some autographs.
Let's do it.
Have anything else you want to say before we're done?
I can't think of anything. You've got a bunch of cool stuff coming up. Again, this record is the next thing, so it'll be a while before the next Dethklok record, but in the meantime, I think you guys are going to be excited about this thing. I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, and in the meantime, for there's bass players out there, you should check this out. The live arrangements that are in here, I think the 4 songs that are the live arrangements are Blackfire Upon Us, the Deththeme, the Murmaider, and Thunderhorse. They're really, really different than versus the studio version. So check them out. I think you'll dig it.
It's cool, you know. And again, if you're a guitar player, it's funny. I just want to say this before this is over, but you know, a guitar player thinks that they can play bass, but they can't. Not really. Not like a real bass player who really lives and breathes the instrument all day long. But it's just such a different thing, and I think it makes me a better bass player to know how he's doing all this stuff, and it makes me a better songwriter, and it makes me a better arranger. So I think guitarists could learn a big lesson from this book as well, you know?
That's great to know. Well, the songs in the bass book were chosen by Bryan Beller. He recommended the best ones for bass. It's much awaited by bass players everywhere. You now have the official tab.
If you get a chance to watch this guy's technique also, he does some stuff that a lot of bass players are not doing at all. It's just, it's inspiring, and it's really cool.
I believe the transcribers had to come up with some new symbols for you, actually.
I'm going to go hide in the back now.
Well, thank you so much. We can't thank you enough for all of your coming and talking to us, and best of luck, and we hope to see much, much more from you.
Oh, you will.
Thank you, Alfred.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alfred.
Thanks for coming over.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Absolutely. Yeah.